Imagine you're a dog. You don't understand taxes or health insurance or what a terminal diagnosis means. All you know is your person, their smell, their voice, and the way they move. Now, imagine a dark, shadowy figure starts following that person around. Something they can't see, but you can. That is the heart-wrenching, terrifying premise of Good Boy. And honestly, I don't think I've ever been more emotionally destroyed by a horror movie. Today, we're breaking down the ambiguous entity, that soul-crushing ending, and why Todd's fate was sealed from the very first frame. The world through Indy's eyes. All right, let's dive in. If you haven't seen Ben Leonberg's directorial debut yet, first of all, go get some tissues. Second, you need to understand that the gimmick of this movie is actually its greatest strength. The entire story is told from the perspective of Indy, Todd's incredibly loyal dog. Now, why does that matter? It matters because dogs are the ultimate unreliable narrators, not because they lie, but because they have a limited understanding of human concepts. When Todd moves into his late grandfather's remote, creepy as hell house, Indy isn't looking for a haunted history. He's looking for a place to nap and making sure Todd is okay. But things are not okay. Early in the film, we see Todd have this unexplained seizure in his apartment. From a human perspective, we're thinking, oh man, he needs a neurologist. But from Indy's perspective, he just sees his person in pain and he senses a presence in the room. This sets the stage for the rest of the film. We aren't getting a clinical breakdown of what's happening. We're getting the emotional, sensory experience of a pet watching their world fall apart.
Well, indefinitely, I gave up my old place, taking over Grandpa's.
What is the entity? The literal interpretation. So, let's talk about the monster. You know, that dark, spindly being that moves through the shadows? It's genuinely creepy. The movie never gives us a lore dump. There's no dusty journal in the attic that says in 1804, a demon named Steve moved in. Instead, we get these breadcrumbs. We find out Todd's grandfather died in this house. We see that there's a literal cave in the basement, which, let's be real, is a massive red flag. If your basement has a cave, just move out. I don't care how good the interest rate is. In the literal, supernatural interpretation, this entity is a bloodline predator. Here's the theory. This thing has been tied to the property for generations. It feeds on the vitality of the family. It claimed the grandfather, and now that Todd, the last of the line, has arrived, it's back to finish the job. Think about the dog Indy meets, or rather, the spirit of the dog. That dog didn't die because the monster ate it. It died of starvation because it wouldn't leave its person's side, even after they were dragged into the dark. That is a level of horror that hits differently. It's not just about being killed. It's about the entity exploiting the bond between a dog and its master to keep them both trapped in a cycle of grief.
Cave dwellers from unseen dangers and alerted them.
The metaphorical layer the real horror. But here's where the movie gets really deep. What if the entity isn't a demon at all? Let's look at the facts. Todd is sick. The movie confirms he has a fatal malady that medicine can't touch. As the film progresses, Todd becomes distant. He gets angry. He stops playing. He literally begins to deteriorate before our eyes. If you've ever had a loved one deal with a terminal illness, you know they eventually become a haunted shell of who they used to be, the entity. That dark figure following Todd might just be Indy's way of visualizing the cancer or the neurological decay or whatever is killing Todd. Indy can't understand cellular degeneration, but he can understand a monster. To a dog, a disease that takes away his owner's personality and strength might as well be a shadow monster dragging him toward a cave. This makes the scary scenes incredibly tragic. When Indy is barking at the shadows, trying to save Todd, he's essentially trying to fight off death itself. And as we all know, you can't win a fight against death.
You're a good dog.
Why Todd had to die. I know. We all wanted a happy ending where Todd gets a miracle cure and they go play frisbee in the park. But for the story Good Boy is trying to tell, Todd's death was a mechanical necessity. The film is a metaphor for the grieving process from a pet's perspective. If Todd survives, the metaphor breaks. The cave in the basement represents the inevitable end. The spirit of the previous dog serves as a warning. If you stay tethered to the past, you'll wither away. In the final act, when Todd is dragged into the cave, Indy actually manages to reach him. It's this beautiful, fleeting moment where Todd seems to wake up from his possessed/ill state. He looks at Indy and tells him he can't follow. This is the most human moment in the movie. Todd isn't just dying. He's releasing Indy. He realizes that his time is up, but Indy still has a life to live. By accepting his death, Todd breaks the cycle that kept the grandfather's dog trapped until it starved. He gives Indy the permission to be a good boy for someone else.
You can't save me.
Breaking down the ending. So, what actually happened in those final moments? When Indy escapes the house and the cave, the entity lets him go. Why? Because the entity or the disease got what it wanted. Todd. If the entity is a metaphor for death, it has no interest in Indy yet. Death is patient. The most emotional shot for me is Indy sitting outside that house, looking back. He survived the horror movie, but he's lost his entire world. But because Todd told him to go, Indy doesn't sit there and wait to die. He moves on. It's a commentary on the resilience of animals. They feel loss just as deeply as we do, maybe even more, because they don't have the words to process it. But they also have this incredible ability to keep moving forward. Our nerdy thoughts. So why does Good Boy stick with us? It's because the monster isn't the thing in the shadows. The real monster is the fact that our time with the ones we love is limited. Whether it's a supernatural curse or a terminal illness, the result is the same. A separation that feels like being dragged into a cold, dark cave. Ben Leonberg took a simple creature feature setup and turned it into a poem about loyalty. It asks us, how far would you go to protect your person? And more importantly, do you have the strength to let go when they're already gone? What did you guys think? Did you see the entity as a literal demon, or were you like me, sobbing because it was clearly a metaphor for Todd's illness? Let me know in the comments. I'm still recovering from that cave scene, so let's talk it out. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the shadows of Good Boy, do me a huge favor, hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, especially when we're covering these smaller, hidden gem horror films. And if you want more lore breakdowns, script theories, or explanations of the weirdest movies coming out this year, make sure to subscribe. We've got a lot of MonsterVerse and alien content coming up that you won't want to miss. Until next time, give your pets an extra treat today. They might be fighting off more entities than you realize. I'm your host, Spoiler Master, and I'll see you in the next one.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.